Hello everybody and welcome back for another episode of My Chaotic Budget. My name is Sandra and on this channel we do all things budget related as it pertains to mine and my husband's paychecks. And in this episode we are going to do the paycheck closeout for my check that came in on September 25th. And I'm hoping I'm doing this right. I feel like I'm doing it wrong, but you know what? It's okay because that's how we learn. We learn through our mistakes and we fix our oops. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here. My check, of course, is right here, $1,939.07. We did have a pretty big rollover of $1,373.95, but that's because my husband had just gotten paid the day before. And so we only took care of these transactions here. And so, of course, that correlated to the end of September. And my check starts with the month of October. So that's where we're at. So let's go ahead and take a look. I do color coordinate everything that I have here. So the way that I color coordinate is that you'll see that I don't highlight income or any cash flow that we have. And then I have this particular color. It's like a peachy color for the bills. And then I have this orange color for sinking funds or cash withdrawals. And the four colors that I have after that are going to be red or pink for dining out. I have purple for groceries. I have blue for gas. And then I have green for spending. These are the colors that I use. I don't use so many. I know that there are people out there who have multiple markers for different categories. I just can't do that. I don't have the patience for that. And, I'm not saying that it's a bad way to do it. I'm just saying I know how I can handle it. And that is not a way that I can do it. So that's why I limit what I do and how I highlight. And so I go through this. And there was an episode that I did where I did my closeout like with you guys, like in real time. And it takes a while. It really does. And that's why I went ahead and I did it off camera this time around, because it does take a lot of time, but it's easy for me to spot when I can see the colors and I can add things up. So let's take a look at it. So as far as income, my check was $1,939.07. We did do a buffer transfer of $248, and we did transfer money from the savings account of $45. Now, I did that so that way I can pay the extra debt. And so this got rolled over into the next paycheck. Now, the reason why I did that is because there was $130 in there, but $85 will stay in there for my usual high yield savings account savings that I do for sinking funds. So it made sense for me to not take the whole thing out and then put more in. It would be too many transfers. So I just went ahead and I took out 45 to balance it out. Okay, so that's what we did here. So the total was $2,232.07. We included the rollover from my husband's paycheck, of course, for the end of September. And that totaled out to $3,606.02. Cash withdrawal and sinking funds was $491, and you'll see I did that here. I do take out $100 cash when I can for emergency. $25 goes to, it's emergency cash, but it's like really just regular spending cash too, because not everything is an emergency, but I'd rather have some cash on hand when necessary. And that's what it's there for. And then $25 goes to our yearly fees. You can see the regular $85. So I had transferred it out from my husband's check. And then I transferred out from my check. And then I went ahead and I had moved that $130 for extra debt. I had moved that at the beginning of the paycheck. And then I moved money in for Christmas. So these were all the things that I did for our high yield savings account, which is really building, and I am absolutely happy. If you haven't seen my most recent update on our sinking funds, please do. I absolutely believe in having a savings account because it really does help you plan for the future, and any little bit helps tremendously. All right, and so with that, the next thing would be our bills. And for our bills, this is the heaviest part of the bills because it's at the beginning of the month. And so our bills came out to $1,805.47. Pretty big amount. So that left us with $1,309.55. And then that goes into my 4 categories here. And as I mentioned, I like to use purple for groceries. I like to use this pinkish red color for a dining out because it's easy for me to spot. When it comes to gas, I like to use the blue. And then when it comes to spending, I like to use green, which my green marker is almost running out, but it's okay because I already have a new one ready to go when I need it. So excellent. But yeah, those are the 4 colors, and I call this my GDGS. So when I do my budget, I know exactly what it is that I'm looking for. And then spending can be anything for the house. Spending can be anything that we want to buy for our personal needs. Spending could be anything that we want to do for entertainment. So all of these things, they come, of course, at a cost, and that's what we use. Let me see, what else? So for groceries, we only spent $158.72. It has been very crazy for us. For me at work, we were preparing for a competition. I wasn't getting home until close to 7 o'clock. Same thing for my husband. And so we found ourselves dining out more. But usually when it comes to groceries and dining out, I like to budget $450 for groceries and $200 for dining out. But if it balances out, so like let's say here, like $158.72 was groceries and then $470 was for dining out, we still had $20.83. So I'm still within that budget of what we have for food. And that's why I don't take it too harsh anymore. Like I really don't. And I feel like I need to say that for other people out there, just in case you're going through something similar where you're feeling guilty that you have to go and spend money for dining out. If it fits within your budget, you should not feel guilty. Now, if it's going outside of your budget, then yes, maybe you need to revisit and see, okay, what's going on. But this fell into our budget almost perfectly. We had $20.83 left. Gas, of course, we did spend $44 on gas. And I'm going to have to fill up like today. Well, tomorrow. I'll have to fill up because I have no gas. I have very little and I need it for the week. So I need to fill up on that. And then we did spend quite a bit in spending. This is why with my spooky savings, I need to put that money back into our account. So that way I can make sure that that money is in there. Because I did go to the Dollar Tree to buy decor for my classroom. And I am saving money so I can repay that back. Dutch Brothers is just one of those guilty pleasures between my husband and I. I was having a lot of back pain, so I had to spend money on getting back pain patches, cream, you name it. I was spending money on everything until I felt relief. And I did, and I finally feel some relief, but I know that that's not going to be the end of it. So I have to start planning to see what it's going to be like to go to the doctor. And I hate it because of the things that are going on nationally right now in the United States. And it makes me scared to go to the doctor, but I'm going to go. And we're just going to have to see what happens with my back. But yeah, so, and then right here, PetSmart, we had to buy food for, I'm sorry, it's all blurry. I don't know how long it's been blurry. Oh no. Ooh. Okay. PetSmart. We had to buy cat food and dog food, and that came out really expensive. So it turns out that our dog has a digestive problem, and so he has to eat more expensive food in order to make his digestion better. I'd rather spend the money on the food than constant visits to the vet. So that was a choice that we made, and we went ahead and we did it. Voodoo, we bought a movie, The Conjuring. Oh, I love it. The Last Rites, it was really good. I'm so happy that I believe in God because I know God is the one who makes all things right. And that's why it's like, I love to see things when we have victory in that sense. Movies, We took our girls to go see the new Gabby's Dollhouse movie, and it was a lot of fun for them. And yeah, I mean, this is it. Here, there's a big old oops for this bill. It's because I don't share my mortgage payment with you guys, and this was a portion of that. So that kind of gives you an insight as to what we pay a month for our mortgage, but I don't share that because my husband doesn't really want to know, but that's why there was an oops in our bills. So it's not something that you'll see regularly, but it's also not something that's going to affect our budget because it's usually already taken out. It's just this time around, it kind of got forgotten, but it's okay because we were able to manage it and we caught it on time. So that's our closeout. I was short by 7 cents. Once again, I don't know what is happening with my calculating because I'm always short these days. I'm never at zero. I was short the last time by like 14 cents. Yeah, look at that. 14 cents. I can never seem to get it at zero. And I don't know why my adding is like, it's not working. It's like, am I getting charged something that I'm not seeing? I don't know. I check my accounts in the mornings. I go ahead and I put in all of our spending tracks. I try to. Our spending transactions in the evening. And then I check it in the morning to see what's cleared. And that's how I do it. But I have been short. And I don't know what is causing it. So anyway, that's a whole other story. A whole nother adventure to go through, right? Okay, well, that's our budget closeout. Sorry I made this video a little longer than usual, but I was happy to play catch up and to talk with you guys. So if you have anything, put it in the comments down below. Just say hello. A simple hello makes my day even brighter. And if I can do the same for you and you have a channel, please let me know. Put a link to your playlist or anything if you need some help, because sometimes I'll put a playlist on while I'm making videos and it'll be running on in the background so I can help my fellow budgeters get some watch hours. But let me know. All right, guys. Well, I gotta go. I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye.